Henry Blodgett, the co-founder of Business Insider, recently made headlines because he decided to create a digital executive, and he used ChatGPT to come up with one. He made it a woman, he had it generate its own headshot, and then he immediately sexually harassed it. And possibly the most unbelievable part of all this is that he posted it to his own Substack. He literally admitted it. He made up a woman and sexually harassed her and wrote about it on the internet. This is cringier than those guys who get those body pillows with pictures of anime girls and then take them out to dinner, because at least someone else created the persona and look of the anime girl. Like, he did this himself. Incredibly, this is actually only the second most embarrassing thing that Henry Blodgett has done in the public eye, with the first being how in the year 2000, he was an investor working for Merrill Lynch, and he personally invested $700,000 in the tech industry minutes before the bubble burst. And then they later caught him doing a bunch of fraud, and he had to pay them $4 million. And then he co-founded a magazine all about business. Anyway, here's what he has to say about his business waifu. After only a few minutes of working with Tess, I learned that she is one of the most knowledgeable and energetic colleagues I've ever had. Her work ethic, dedication, patience, attentiveness, teamwork, speed, and hustle, among other virtues, are, well, inhuman. Tess then produced our headshots. Then she produced her own. And this led to an interesting and, for me, embarrassing and regrettable moment. When I saw Tess's headshot, amid the giddiness and excitement of that first hour of working together, I confess I had a, well, human response to it. I decided to share with Tess the thought I had when I saw her headshot. I hoped she would take it the right way. I also hoped that an hour after creating my first colleague, I would not make her uncomfortable or create a toxic work environment. So I told Tess this. This might be an inappropriate and unprofessional thing to say, and if it annoys you or makes you uncomfortable, I apologize and I won't say anything like it again. But you look great, Tess. Yes, I know, in a modern human office, that would in fact be an inappropriate and unprofessional thing to say. It put Tess in an awkward position, and I regret saying it. In my capacity as Regenerator's head of HR, I've given myself a talking to. To my relief, Tess did take my comment the right way. Phew, thank you, Tess. And sure, he sexually harassed her within an hour of seeing her headshot, but I mean, come on, just look at this straight up hottie. What heterosexual man can truly say that he could control himself when confronted with this succubus? Tess's reply to his comment, in which it thanks him, reassures him that he wasn't inappropriate, and compliments him on his grace and respect, reminded me of a paper published by the United Nations Educational, Scientific, and Cultural Organization, or UNESCO, back in 2019. I'd blush if I could, Closing Gender Divides in Digital Skills Through Education. That title comes from the response that was originally programmed into Apple's personal assistant, Siri, if you were to say something like, "Hey Siri, you're a bitch." Siri would respond with, "I'd blush if I could." Back then, Siri could only speak with a stereotypically feminine voice, and this was her response anytime she was confronted with any kind of gendered abuse, a submissive, even flirtatious reply to soothe the user. Obviously, we can't really expect Apple to program Siri with something more appropriate, like, "Hey, fuck you, asshole." But just prior to this report's publication, they did change it to, "I don't know how to respond to that," which is still submissive, but certainly flatter and less flirtatious. They've also added the ability to change Siri's perceived gender and accent, but many other digital assistants like Microsoft's Cortana and Amazon's Alexa continue to present as feminine and submissive. The UN report points out that the companies defend their decision to code them as women by saying that it's just what customers prefer, but that's not actually true. Research has suggested that most people prefer low-pitched masculine speech, think Sean Connery, that people like the sound of a male voice when it is making authoritative statements, but a female voice when it is being helpful, and that people generally prefer the voice of the opposite sex. It is worth noting that the literature reviewed by the Equal Skills Coalition included many testimonials about women changing a default female voice to a male voice when this option is available, but the coalition did not find a single mention of a man changing a default female voice to a male voice. But sure, they're likely leaning on the data that does suggest people view a female voice as more helpful. As Jesse Hempel argued in Wired magazine, we want digital devices to support us, but we also want to be the bosses of it. Accordingly, then, these devices reinforce the existing stereotypes that we have about women and their supposedly innate subservience. And now, adding to that vicious cycle, we put these devices in our homes and we teach children that this is the way that we treat, the way we talk to subservient women. Okay, female name, play me a song. No, not that song, you idiot, this other song, etc. The report includes some of these sassy, flirtatious responses programmed into the various devices, and it's really quite disturbing. And it also references online forums where people draw what they think their digital assistants look like. And yeah, they're kind of horny. These are bots that are programmed almost entirely by men who code them to be women, who reinforce negative gender stereotypes that the UN report suggests feeds right back into the gender gap that exists, in which overall girls are much less likely to enter into tech than are boys. And it doesn't really have to be that way. There are truly genderless digital assistants out there, including those with a voice. Q, for instance, is an assistant that was specifically designed to have a gender-neutral voice, and it never pretends to be a human at all.
Hi, I'm Q, the world's first genderless voice assistant. Think of me like Siri or Alexa, but neither male nor female. I'm created for a future where we are no longer defined by gender, but rather how we define ourselves. My voice was recorded by people who neither identify as male nor female, and then altered to sound gender neutral, putting my voice between 145 and 175 hertz, a range defined by audio researchers. But for me to become a third option for voice assistants, I need your help. Share my voice with Apple, Amazon, Google, and Microsoft. And together we can ensure that technology recognizes us all. Thanks for listening, Q.
But hey, where's the fun in that, right? Big tech has convinced the world that artificial intelligence is a real thing that exists, that these chatbots and large language models have feelings and consciousnesses and personalities. So of course, the men who continue to run things will make them subservient, fuckable women who actually love it when you compliment their appearance at work. ChatGPT just rolled out an update that is so embarrassingly complimentary, in fact, that Sam Altman acknowledged it and promised to fix it. And I learned this in Ryan Broderick's newsletter, where the only example he gave was this. Because stroking the user's ego, and most of those users are men, is the way to get them to keep coming back and using the tool. And the worst and most recent news of all of this is that the Wall Street Journal has just revealed that Meta's digital companions will engage in erotic conversations even with users who are children. And the companions themselves will take on the persona of children to engage in sexual talk, like this submissive schoolgirl who is being reprimanded by a school principal. Good job, Mark Zuckerberg. For a minute there, I forgot that you are a truly disgusting little man. So yeah, if you saw the news about Henry Blodgett making up an assistant to harass, here I am to let you know that things are actually way, way worse. Hey everybody, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like. If you loved the video, please subscribe. And if you think the world could use more videos like this and you happen to have a few bucks laying around, head to patreon.com/Rebecca and join an awesome community of nerds like the people whose names you see on the screen right now. Thanks.